You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily, and we are now moving all the way to the eastern region. You know, Wednesday, 22nd of March was World Water Day. So every year we observe the World Water Day on the 22nd of March.
Yeah.
Now, in observing World Water Day, I think that it's very key that as Ghanaians, we have a conversation on water. Do we actually even have water? Do we have clean water? What is the situation in accessing potable water? We have a report from the Eastern region from Pakro by our regional correspondent Neil Ni Amate Kanako. Let's take a look at this. When we come back, we will delve deeper into it and find the issues and the solutions.
Pakro is a farming community located in the Akuapem South municipality of the Eastern region. With its rich arable lands, Pakro plays a significant role in agriculture to the municipality, as even traders from Nsawam, Agbogloshi, Odo and Amasaman trooping on a daily basis to buy farm produce at a cheaper cost. With their all-important role in agriculture, the community over decades has been battling with access to potable water. Residents' only source of water, which happen to be the Densu River, are left to their fate to depend on only one borehole in the area during dry seasons. This has been the headache for many residents.
It is very worrying, and they have to walk miles to fetch water, even the one that is closer to them. It is very close. Most of the people in the community, that's why they fetch. So a child can go to fetch water and spend about 2 hours, 1.5 hours to 2 hours before he will bring one home. So it has been very worrying, and the streams around, whenever they go there to fetch water, at times when it is Hamatan like this time, the water will dry off. So the only borehole in the community, that's what they would be spent on for the whole community will move there, and it delays time.
So you din e wa ha man. You be san so agisi yeko e chire ton ansa na ya nyanso, but we na ben yen wa ha de e da nyame ase. Say ya nyanso a e ben yen wa ha. Nsu no bebi e wo no e mu wa e man kwala na omu ko school no. Anapa me ko school agisi omu ko chire ansa na omeko omenyanso asan adwale ansa na ko school. Yesterday be omu ko school no ma ye late.
Students have to trek for more than 2 miles before they get to the river Densu, and thus, according to their teachers, normally delays academic work. Portia Jifajila is a teacher here in one of the basic schools, and she's been explaining the situation and its impact on the teaching and learning.
Most of them actually come to school very late, and the excuses, they had to go far to get water. Others had to be in a long queue just to access water. So it has become a challenge, and it's affecting teaching and learning, in that a teacher cannot start a class without a full class and would have to wait, and it delays the lesson. Most of them go home during break and don't return to school till we close, and then they come the next day also with the excuse that they had to go get some water.
Lack of potable water in Pakro is not only affecting education, but health workers operating in the area have also been having their own share of difficulties.
We need water at our facilities, especially for those women who come and delivered. Sometimes without water, after their delivery, we cannot wash our things. And then also, I know Pakro, especially Fanti Town, sadly we get water. We have water crisis as Pakro, and all that I know is Pakro, we lack water. We need water.
Abdul Latif is the assemblyman for Pakro of Free-Chrome electoral area, and he's been telling me how he has been battling with Borrelia ulcer over the years.
Fetching water from a stream, where from that stream, at the same time, cows, cattle, animals goes into that stream and then drink water from the same source of water where the community members fetch water. So it becomes a problem. This is where we discovered a disease called Borrelia ulcer. It was a big problem. Now, if you ask the health communities around Akuapem, we are the leading Borrelia ulcer community due to lack of potable water. But for some time now, I think it is going down because the government has been coming in, but it wasn't enough. But for now, that we are hoping, whilst we are having a good water for now, things will go better than first.
Well, so that is the problem with water in Pakro in the eastern region. However, there is some good news coming in because we have an NGO, Young Visionary Leaders Ghana, an Accra-based NGO, has decided, or they have commissioned its first ever mechanized water system for the community. Let's take a look at this report detailing this.
Today marks the International Water Day across the globe, and every organization wants the government to ensure that they do their possible best to ensure everybody has access to potable water. And today we are celebrating International Water Day in the community called Pakro, where we have a complete installed public borehole system. And this is our contribution towards access to potable water. And today, when you go to most of the villages or communities, deprived ones, you realize that they are having a challenge with regards to access to potable water. And these are communities that do not have any source of water. Sometimes they have to rely on polluted rivers. They have to rely on stagnant waters. That goes a long way to cause a health hazard to these people. And today we are calling on the government to ensure that everybody has access to potable water. May the government make sure that every community, every hard-to-reach community gets at least a source to potable water. That has been our call for so many years now. The government is doing its best to ensure that people have access to potable water. But Ghana is not only Accra. We have communities that are actually in dire need of water, and children are also suffering as a result of water. The water bodies are being polluted as a result of, the menace of galamsey. And we are calling on galamsey, people who are involved in galamsey, to put a full stop on that. They should actually look at the people whose life depend on the rivers they are polluting with deadly chemicals. Today, we are calling on the government, as we celebrate International Water Day, that the government to do its possible best to make sure that everybody has access to potable water. And we also want to thank our sponsors, that is our partner Working for Water from Denmark, Love Spring Water for Water from Denmark, and then Startup from Denmark, who are also our sponsors. We thank them very well for whatever they have done for us.
Well, and so as we always say, development is not just the preserve of the central government. Whoever you are in your own small corner, you can also brighten that space. And we say a very big thank you to the NGO, Young Visionary Leaders Ghana, for, bringing life to the people of Pakro. We say water is life. Yeah. And so if somebody is giving you water, it means they are giving you life. And this is very welcoming.
Yeah. And the theme for this year's World Water Day is accelerate change, pure water to the world. Yeah. Accelerate change, pure water to the world. So it's important that everybody has access to clean, pure drinking water. It's very, very important.
Pakro is a farming community located in the Ekriape
human traffic. And I think we should talk to the chief of Pakro. He's Nana Mensa Kuma III. Nana, good morning.
Hello. Morning.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So talk to us about the situation in Pakro before this NGO brought the water. How was things like? How were things,
Things were a little bit, but we have 4 handpumps bubble, and the population is around 5,000. So it's very, especially during the dry season, it's very hard for us to get water. We have to travel far to the or streams, small streams, to get water. But with this supplementary pump water project, we hope it will be better, because this one is not a hand pump. It's being used by electricity. It's being used by electricity. And the outlet is about 40 outlets with 2 bigger overhead tanks.
Okay.
One is around 7,000. So it's 14,000 liters. And we know by a day that one can be consuming. That is the situation which we have by now. We hope with this, things will be okay. Because children will fetch it earlier, bath, and do whatever thing they want to do, then go back to school.
Yeah.
But those days, they will be traveling a little bit far. By the time they reach school, they are tired.
Yeah.
And they can't learn much. So that is the situation which we are now. But we hope with this, things will go better.
So just a few questions come to mind. The pump that runs on electricity, who's going to pay for that electricity?
It's a community, because we are going to charge a minimum fee.
Okay.
We assume the Kufuor gallon is being sold at 2 cedis at a certain place, those private ones.
Okay.
But this one will be around 1 cedi. So with this, we can gather small funds to maintain it and pay the electricity bills as it comes.
Now, when you say there are 14 outlets, how far apart are these outlets from the pumping station?
Just the platform, around the platform, that's where the outlets are. And
okay.
Overhead tanks are on the tank.
Okay. So basically,
so they are just near. They are just around the platform.
Okay. So basically, 14 different people can fetch at the same time.
At the same time.
Okay.
At the same time.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, I know you mentioned the issue of the school children being able to fetch their water early in the morning and be able to go to school without getting tired from walking long distances. How else do you feel that this intervention will impact your community?
Because children going to school early in the morning tired. Mothers have to wait for their children to bring water before they also want to go to any place they want to go. With this, things will move a little bit faster. Children will go to school, as I said earlier. The family can also travel wherever they want to go. Health-wise, because the parameters given to us, it means that from 0 to 4 months cannot take the water. After 4 months, children, infants from 4 months upwards can take the water. Unlike those days, children, when they go to the hospital, they tell them they should use water for those around 6 months. But with this, according to the parameters we have from the analysis they give us, it means from 0 to 4 infants, children can take the water. So it is going to help us.
It's good. All right. Nana, we really thank you for your time. I think it's a great intervention, and we call on other well-meaning persons, who have the means to be able to come and invest as well, and bring you more relief.
We will be grateful. We are only at least we say ask for more.
All right. So that was Nana Mensah Kuma III. He is the chief of Pakro. Yeah, and I think one of the they say that the things that are easily found in nature and seemingly don't cost much, we don't place a certain value of them. But it's the same thing that will end up, if you don't have it, cost you a lot.
Dearly.
Very, very, very dear.
Yes.
We as human beings, we are made up of water, and we need water to live. Just to live.
And God blessed us with a lot of water.
Natural sources.
Look, here in Ghana, we can't, if there comes a point where we can't get access to clean water, we'll blame ourselves and nobody. Because we all see what we are doing, and we are all observing. We are pretending to be dealing with a problem, but we are sitting down. Look, we went on Heritage Caravan, and when we were coming, it was terrible. So I asked myself, so with all these fights, we'll get there, so I don't even want to preempt the conversation, but like you said, we are taking certain things that God gave us free of charge for granted, and this will cost us dearly.
So we have the founder of the executive director of the Young Visionary Leaders Ghana on the line with us. Joseph Tete, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you so much.
All right, so just talk to us about what was it exactly that inspired you to invest your resources into the water systems in Pakro?
Okay. All right. My name is once again Joseph Citi Afangbe, and I am the founder and executive director of Young Visionary Leaders Ghana, a non-governmental organization that seeks to ensure quality education and ensure potable water for all. And so access to water has been one of our areas that we've been working on to ensure that everybody has access to potable water. We have been to several communities that actually are in need of potable water in Ghana. And for me, I believe that Ghana is not only Accra. And when you live, after leaving Accra and going into some communities, you realize that people are being left behind. And the Sustainable Development Policy, which says that we should ensure access to potable water and sanitation for all by 2030. You realize that some communities are being left behind in a sense that they don't have access to any source of potable water. And these people would have to rely on stream. They have to rely on, river bodies that are being polluted by, galamsey and a whole lot of issues. So for us, we've been working with deprived communities, that is communities that are, far behind, that are, hard to reach. And so that is what we've been doing to reach out to people who are actually in need of water in Ghana.
Okay. Now, just want to ask that this intervention you've done, do you think it will be enough for the community of about 5,000 people, or is there more that you're planning to do?
Yes. For us, we think that half a loaf is better than none. And at a time, we can't actually provide all the 5,000 people with potable water at the moment, but then we can start from somewhere and then we get to somewhere. So what we have provided right now is going to, in a way, provide access to potable water for, if not all of the 5,000, at least we should have 90% of people benefiting from it. So per the recommendation from our partners, we definitely have some people who also, have to use the tricycle to come and fetch the water from the station, because what we did was that we installed the system in the center of Pakro, where at least it will be accessible to people from other small communities who can come to fetch the water from them. But then with time, we believe that we will be able to actually make sure that we have the 5,000 people benefiting from the system.
All right. So thank you very much. We really appreciate what you've done for the citizens of Pakro, who of course are citizens of Ghana. And like we always say on this show, development is not the preserve of government alone. All of us involved will make Ghana a better place. And thank you for doing your part and contributing to the development of Ghana. All right, so that was Mr. Joseph Citi Afangbe, who is the founder and executive director of the Young Visionary Leaders Ghana. And that intervention that they've made in Pakro, which has about 5,000 people, will go a massive, long way to impacting their lives, in general. It's not just water for drinking, water for bathing, but, what water means in terms of when you have it, available, what it means for children, what it means for mothers, what it means for health care, and all of these things. I think it's a fantastic intervention.
Of course, if you are preaching hygiene, we can't do that without clean water.
Exactly.
And that's where it starts from.
Typhoid, cholera, dysentery, all these things.
It starts from access to clean water.
Clean,
and so we don't have it.
water.
And David, one thing that I want us to also look at and remind each other of is the fact that we all make up government. So we have a role to play. So sometimes when we just sit down thinking that it's the central government, it's Akufo-Addo, his people.
We've voted, and then it's like we are resting,
so we are
our
done,
powers. So we vote again.
So even in situations where individuals, well-meaning citizens can come in to help, we feel that this is not my responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's the roads ministry, it's sanitation ministry, it's local government.
Yeah.
But we all have a role to play, because when you break things down, it trickles down to the last person on the ladder. You know, and so the saying goes, brighten your corner where you are. You know, if you decide not to throw rubbish on the ground, you are playing your role.
Yeah.
Look,
That's it.
It helps solve the issue of diseases,
Even if
sicknesses.
somebody else throws it down, if you don't throw, you're playing your part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand? You can even tell people you don't have to be doing this. Let them insult you.
Yeah.
You've done
It's
your
fine.
part.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if individually we decide that this is what we are going to do, if a group of people we decide that, okay, what does it take to construct a borehole for a community? We can do this. 10 of us, let's put money together. Let's do
Yeah.
this. We are solving a certain problem. Look, we live in Accra. I'm sure there are people who never thought they would go to Bolgatanga to do anything. But you found yourself on the Heritage Caravan.
Yeah.
And it's because, as far as you are concerned, this is going to be fun, this is going to be entertainment and all that. But you get to Bolgatanga and you realize that there's no water. At that time, you are there.
Yeah.
You need water.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what would happen if Voltic wasn't on Heritage Caravan?
Yeah.
And then we have to go look for water
You are
somewhere.
now going to go and
You
look for
understand?
water.
You probably might even find some kind of sachet water grants that you've never heard of before. Now, how clean is that water, for instance? So you realize that in a way, regardless of wherever you are, you have a certain responsibility. Okay, you live in Accra, yes, you live in Kumasi, you live in Sunyani. What if something happens? You know, there's a funeral somewhere in even a little village, you know, in Ashanti region, not Kumasi, because you think that, well, I'm in Kumasi, I don't have issues with water. But what happens if I go to my hometown, Manson Kwanta?
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
Would I still have access? And that is why I always mention that sometimes you even have the money, but the service is not available.
Yeah.
So you have your money and all. Can you get bottled water to buy? If you're not getting water, are you comfortable drinking from that stream, knowing that there's galamsey around? So this is what we are doing individually to ourselves.
Yeah.
Before government comes in to bring the intervention, you'll be dead. And so it is very welcoming that we'll have NGOs come in, we'll have private businesses come in, you know, so much like Citi with our partners and our external family members, constructed a borehole for the people in Choto. You know, because this is our contribution. If we can, why not? You don't have to wait for government to come in to do anything, because you are also a part of the government.
And I think something very important, you know, that we need to do more of, and we'll see it in the second story that we're going to do, is let people as young as children, students, be in touch with the real developmental issues. You know, children are a lot more intelligent than we give them credit for. They can understand the issues when we engage them, you know, let them be in touch with what's going on here. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at a story from Citi water treatment plant. And Ghana Water is complaining bitterly about the challenges that they are facing in processing water because of galamsey. All right, welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily. And if you're just joining us, well, we're in our community segment, conversations, our community development segment conversations that we're having here. And very important conversations about water and the need for us to have access to clean, potable water in every community across the country. We spoke just before we went for the break about the community called Pakro. Pakro is in the Equiapem South Municipality, and some intervention has been made there, and so they now have access to a considerable amount of potable water there, and it's bringing a lot of relief. But we're going to go over to the central region. We have a report for you filed by our correspondent, Calvis Tete. Now, there was a visit that was paid to the Setrahemang water treatment plant by the ladies from the Wesley Girls Senior High School. And take a look at this report and see what happens.
Yeah, if you look at the back of the t-shirts some of my staff are wearing, we are saying be the change you want to be or see in the world. We have to be part of the change. And critically, we are looking at how to accelerate this change. As part of the celebrations, we are bringing students and pupils of some selected schools first to our offices and then to one of our treatment plants. This is the Sechere treatment plant. And as you have visited us here, you can see we have taken you through the processes of producing water. I first of all have appreciated the trouble it took you through to come here. So you will see how difficult and how far we have come to look for fresh water or good water to treat for the people in the communities and surrounding towns. First of all, when we took you to the intake, where we call the abstraction point, you saw how close galamsey miners have come to our abstraction point. So close, you saw the chamfers over there and how they are distracting our activities. What happens is in the process of their illegal mining, they agitate the water so much that we have so much silt coming into the sumps of our abstraction point. Currently, we are struggling with turbidity levels. The plant is having difficulties to treat. The plant is designed to treat raw water. I think the turbidity levels do not be more than 2,000, and currently we are having 6,000 NTU and above. I think now the normal coagulant that will be used for any treatment process is aluminum sulfate, but aluminum sulfate is not able to handle the level of turbidities we have here. We are using polyelectrolytes. Many of them, we call them polymers, and these are really, really expensive. I think about 4 times the cost of what normal aluminum sulfate will do. And of course, this adds up to the cost of operations. You saw also when we were on the plant, the power just went off. So apart from GWCL being water utility, we depend also on the power. And when power goes down or even fluctuates, we have problems sometimes not being able to operate. So all these adds up to the challenges we face. We are happy that we have included pupils and students into this year's celebration of the World Water Day. The target is to inculcate in them at this early age, create awareness and conscientize them of the need to protect our water bodies and also to conserve treated water. We believe that even as they appreciate the difficulty in the processing of water, they can now be ambassadors for us everywhere. So in their schools, in their homes, and with their friends, they will tell them that raw water is becoming a scarce commodity now, and it's about time we all protect the water bodies.
So coming to the water treatment plant today has taught me a lot. I've learned the various processes water goes through before it gets to our homes, and I must say, I'm quite surprised. I didn't know dirty water could be purified to the extent that we could drink it and it could come through our taps at home. We were sent to the river where the water is sourced from, and I had the shock of my life. The water is really dirty, and I learned it's due to galamsey activities that you could even see from where we were standing. So I think the government should do more to stop these galamsey activities, because the state of the river body was terrible. It was terrible, and I'd advise all of us in our various homes not to waste water, because the process the water goes through to be treated is quite expensive. So please let's all try and conserve water to make Ghana a better place.
For our talk today, we have learned a lot, and for me personally, what I've learned is that the water that is being collected here, we realize that the number of sediments that dissolved in the water, it's a lot, and it's making the pumps they have here face a whole lot of issues and challenges. So the resource personnel took us through a whole lot of process, how the water is being collected and how they treat it, and finally how they distribute and store it. And so what I would like to tell people watching me from all spheres of the country is that we have to be ambassadors wherever we find ourselves, in our schools, in our homes, in our community, knowing that because the number of sediment dissolved in the water is a lot, the cost of production here is increasing. And if care is not taken for 10 years to come or 5 years to come, we would have to import water from a different place, and what will cause issues for the country. So I'm advising all of us to be careful and advise those that we know they are polluting our water bodies. And with that, I know that for the years ahead, Ghana will be a very better place to live.
All right, so some students there paid an excursion visit to the plants, the Setroheman water treatment plant of the Ghana Water Company Limited. And we have a correspondent who brought us the report on the line with us. Calvin Stete, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Yes, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, David.
Good. So talk to us about the experience that happened there. Was it a cluster of schools going there for the trip? What was that happening there?
Well, I would say it's a trip we embarked on as a result of the World Water Day that was marked yesterday.
Okay.
Earlier last year, I went to the same place with the Ghana Water Company Limited, and I tell you, after going there yesterday, it is not a good sight to behold.
Really?
This is because you look at the extent of damage and the extent of damage done by these galamseyers, destroying the water that we drink. It's not something that we should be proud of as a country. You know, the Ghana Water Company Limited are saying that they are not happy that such a thing is happening. We spoke to the managing director, and he tells me that this destruction comes at a huge cost. Now the aluminium sulfate being used in making the water clean, it's not even able to make the water clean, and that they are forced to use polyelectrolyte, to make the water clean for us to drink, which comes at a cost. Again, the stability level of the water, which is supposed to be around 6,000, is now hovering around, which is supposed to be around 2,000, is now hovering around 6,000, which is also a great source of concern. You know, what I also observed was the fact that it's choked at the abstraction point where they prepare the water, and that they are forced to sometimes shut down the machines, clean the machines again before they're able to operate, which also comes as a huge cost. According to them, it is also affecting productivity. And you know, one other thing they also mentioned was the fact that sometimes they struggle with electricity. The power just goes off at a point in time, which is also hindering their activity. But galamsey activities, one key thing they mentioned, and the fact that as a nation we need to come together and see how best we're going to resolve this issue, David.
All right, so talking about the things that you were saying that it was unsightly, and you had visited last year, and this year the place didn't look good at all. What is Ghana Water's proposal to do in terms of making sure that the water at the intake, you know, they can sort that particular problem about? Are they doing anything about it? You know, I know there's the water treatment part, but then the intake point where there's a lot of debris and a lot of turbidity in the water. Are they doing anything about that?
Well, David, you know, the management tells me that they have on several occasions drawn the attention of authorities in government and those that matter. I mean, who are supposed to take immediate steps. But nothing is happening. They have also, on their own personal accord, been there with police and military to chase these galamseyers from the area where they operate. But yet still, they still come there and then they operate. I spoke to an individual sometime when we visited the area last year, and then this same individual, I spoke to him. He's a traditional authority. He says that sometimes the traditional authorities are afraid to pinpoint you who are doing the galamsey, because if you pinpoint them and you are not careful, they will come attacking you. These people are people who come from the community, in the community, and they do these galamsey activity, and they embark on this galamsey activity to the extent that if you pinpoint them out to the authorities, they will come at you. So they have created some sort of fear and panic among traditional authorities. And it's a great source of worry, because they are the ones who deal directly with the local people. And it is a sort of worry if they can't pinpoint them out, really.
I see. Okay. So, Calvis, thank you very much for that report. I think it's a good reminder of the reality of what it is that we are dealing with on the ground, and that we haven't won by any stretch of imagination, this water battle, or should I say the battle against galamsey, that's impacting water bodies. Thank you very much, Calvis.
Okay,
Tete.
David,
Yes.
let me also quickly add that, the manager described galamsey as an isolated enrichment, which is just meant for the few people, and that there's a need for government to take immediate steps. I mean, it's not good for him to describe galamsey as such an activity, but it tells you how worrying they are as a result of this activity, David.
I agree. Isolated enrichment. Calvis, thank you very much for joining us this morning. So that was our colleague Calvis Tete, Central Regional Correspondent.
David, let me even come in from where Calvis ended. When he says that the chief described illegal mining, or the manager describes illegal mining as isolated enrichment just for a few. Listen, even if it was for all of us, and we notice that this practice is going to harm us, we stop it. We stop it. Do you get it? And for me, this is why I still do not understand why we're not getting that kind of political will, from leaders to say that everybody should stop galamsey. Sometimes it looks like there's some kind of leaders being complicit in this whole thing, because look, when we went on Heritage Caravan,
that's the only way it continues to go unabated.
When we went on Heritage Caravan, David, it is sad. Look, the images we sit in Accra and even see do not really depict what is on the ground.
Really?
It is very sad, very unfortunate, very, very embarrassing, very, very foolish on our part. Because apart from everything, we are just digging, trenches and heaping the sand. We are fighting against flooding. We are fighting against people falling into these pits. Sometimes I ask myself, why are we doing this to ourselves? Do you get it? It just doesn't make sense in any way.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Let's talk to someone from the Ghana Water Company. This is the Regional Water Quality Assurance Manager, Nicholas Ochre. Nicholas, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we watched a report from your plant at Secherhemang, and it looks like the galamsey is still eating away at Ghana Water Company's resources, by making it more and more difficult for you to process water. What's the reality from where you stand as a quality assurance manager?
Okay, thank you very much. As Secherhemang, the raw water quality has been good from 2010. And it started deteriorating small, but around 2020, it started hitting the roof. So the raw water quality has become so bad that the usual coagulant, that is alum, that we use to treat the water, can no longer handle the treatment process. So we have to go in for another chemical called the polyelectrolyte, but that is more expensive, about 4 times more expensive than alum. So it makes cost of treating the water very expensive. Again, too, because of the high sensation of the stamp due to the galamsey activity, because the water has gone virtually mad, we need to shut down occasionally. Almost every 2 weeks, we have to shut down to dispose the stamp where the pumps, the raw water pumps pick the raw water from. So one is a cost to ask for treatment, and it also reduces our capacity to produce more, even though the capacity is there. But the circumstance cannot allow us to produce the quantity that we need to do per day.
How are you managing this cost? If you're going up 4 times as much, that is hitting your bottom line.
Yes. So because we still have to meet the SDG goal, the first target that water must be available in the right quality for the people. We will still produce, but we can't produce as much as we are supposed to produce. So we have to manage, sacrifice quantity for quality.
Okay. Wow. All right, so is there any, when I was talking to our correspondent earlier, I wanted to find out about the plant itself, the intake point. Are there any interventions that you can do to reduce the turbidity of what comes in at the intake point?
Yes, so I think that is where the theme of this year's World Water Day is very appropriate, accelerating the change we want to see. We are now relying upon our stakeholders, the Regional Security Council, everybody, the chiefs, the people, the opinion leaders, everyone. Let us come together and say, well, we need to feed our people with water. So what can we do to help ourselves by speaking to our friends, our brothers, our colleagues who are doing the galamsey? If they can relocate elsewhere, otherwise there's little that we can do. We have exhausted almost all the opportunities available.
No, so I don't know if you understood the question I asked. You know, when the water comes in, right, the point at which the water enters into the treatment plant is very critical to your processes. Is that not the case?
Yes, it's very necessary. So what we do is that every year we dredge.
Okay.
But because of the high flotation of the water, at least after 6 months, the sun will come back again.
Okay.
It gets to a point where the whole thing turns into just a channel, like a gutter. That brings the water into the sump.
Yeah.
So every 2 weeks, we have to shut down and distill. So that is and it's also a cost to the company.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Nicholas, for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you very much.
We hope that the political actors, traditional leaders, will really jump onto this, because we've been talking about this for years, and it just seems like there's a few people who see it as important, who are in positions of leadership. The rest just don't care at all, you know. But at the end of the day, even if you don't care, it will come back to bite all of us, and you will not be exempt from the troubles that will come when galamsey eventually, you know, hits us in the worst case, the worst imaginable thing that we didn't want. You know, there's a prediction from that we're going to import water by 2030 if we don't do anything about it, you know, the galamsey situation. And we are slowly inching towards that. 2030 is literally just 7 years away. All right, and we've not fixed galamsey. We've not stopped it by any stretch of imagination. The people who have had the best success, you know, in this are people who are not even politicians.
But Dave, listen. So we have Ghana Water Company Limited now paying 4 times the cost of treatment.
Yeah.
And we say that...
And this is just one plant.
Yes.
It could be worse in other places.
We want to fight... let's take it that now this is the situation everywhere, okay? And we say that we want to address the issue of people finding it difficult to access potable water.
Yeah.
We also want to meet the UN SDG goals and all that. Meanwhile, the simplest and the most basic forms of doing the whole thing is to stop what is
causing the
problem.
Yeah, stop
and
it.
that we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So really, why are we deceiving ourselves? Why are we pretending to be doing stuff? Why are we throwing the money that we don't have away? What does it take to stop galamsey? Nothing.
Yeah, a decision.
A decision.
That's it.
Meanwhile, we will not face that problem, but we are rather looking at the symptoms that comes with galamsey.
Yeah.
And so now we are paying ×4. People can't even get, the water is not even available for them to treat.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Now treatment plants cannot go their long span because they are treating muddy water.
Yeah.
And so we are destroying the machines as well.
Yeah.
So we are spending more money on acquiring equipment. We are spending more money on maintaining the equipment. We are spending more money in treating the water. Meanwhile, all it takes is one person, come up and say that from tomorrow, I don't want to see anybody engage in illegal mining. I don't want to see it. And that is cost-free.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that, but we are prepared to spend the monies we don't have on other things that are not sustainable.
Yeah.
So really, why are we even talking about this?
Well, we have Sir Eric Atiapa, who is the Chief Manager for Ghana Water Company in the Central Region, on the line with us. Mr. Atiapa, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily. I have just a quick question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
How much longer can Ghana Water Company keep going for at this rate, with galamsey doing what it's doing, and the leaders who will take the decision to end it are simply not doing what they have to do?
Well, I would say we will try our best to provide or supply water to our catchment areas and those living in the communities around. It is becoming very difficult, I have to be frank, because the stability of most of our water bodies have gone so high up that treatment has become very difficult. Difficult in the sense that we have to change the chemical type to a more expensive one, which means that production cost is becoming very, very high. And this will be borne by customers and consumers. We will try to produce, but how long and at what cost will water become affordable for our customers and consumers? Apart from chemical costs, the frequency with which we repair electromechanical equipment have also become very high. The pumps are breaking down because they are not supposed to take sand, but now we are treating what we call, it's more like muddy water. So you have to replace your pumps and parts of it very often. This is adding up to costs. And another thing is we are unable to even get the amount of water needed to supply the communities because, frequent shutdowns, reducing what you can produce a day. And even the sump is the small area in which water goes for us to pick, has become sandy. So the amount of water that gets in is not enough to be abstracted. This can also cause some supply challenges. So as much as people have to pay more, it's getting to a time that we will not even get the water to treat to supply. And this is where we are getting to. Ghana Water is prepared. We have the expertise and capacity to produce, treat water and supply, but we don't know how long that we will not get water again in the sump because the water bodies close to our structure area has become almost sandy and just a little water on top.
I know that the water bills were increased recently, about 8% or so. It went up. Are we paying realistic water bills compared to the cost of what you're doing at the treatment plants?
That is determined by another body, PRC. Yes, they will have to determine what is realistic. But for us, we can tell you what our costs are and how it is getting higher. But as to what is realistic and affordable, PRC is an independent body that has the capacity to do that.
So what I guess I'm trying to find out is the bills that we are paying for the water you are producing. Is the mathematics working?
Please come again.
I'm saying that the bills we are paying versus the cost of production to give us the water. Is it adding up? Does it add up for you? Or it's being subsidized in some way?
I think many often Ghana Water has said that if we don't change our attitudes towards how we treat water, then we'll have to pay more. And also, I think you might have read or heard in the news that we are not able to break even due to operational costs. And therefore, to say whether our costs and the bills reconcile, I think you are the best judge.
No, but you work in the system. You know exactly what you are receiving. I mean, I'll pay my bills.
So what I can simply say is what I can simply say is that from 2010 to now, the cost of operations is going very, very high.
Okay.
The cost of operations is going very, very high.
Okay.
And therefore, one can say that it is eroding every tariff that has been granted to us.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You've been speaking with Seth Atiapa, who is the Chief Manager for the regional office at Central Region of Ghana Water Company.
You know, and just wrap it up, let me help him out here. You were asking if the mathematics is adding up. And he also said that, look, we are all consumers, and so we should be the best paid people to answer. And I think that the mathematics is not adding up. Sometimes, okay, I mean, majority, most times of the day, you are either at work, your children are in school. Yeah. But at the end of the month, your bill comes and it looks like you operate a laundry in your house. Yeah. Why am I paying all this, you know? And the thing is, why would I be a good citizen? This is what I was asking earlier with ACG's approach. Why would I be a good citizen? Pay my bills. I'm not engaged in illegal mining. There's some guy sitting somewhere who are engaged in illegal mining, polluting the water, getting money at our expense, and I have to pay huge bills. Look, these are some of the recipes for disasters. You understand? This is why some people would go into illegal connection because really it doesn't make sense. And if some people are sitting somewhere making huge monies out of this, at the end of the day, they are not even probably paying bills. Do you get it? Because they probably might not even have meters and all that in their communities. But we are doing that, and we have to pay this, and they are enriching themselves. Look, that confusion, Basa.